Hello, my friend. I am so excited you are here because I want to talk about something that's a real thing when you are looking to go to big levels in your business, when you're looking for those big breakthroughs and those big financial gains and leaps to do bigger things in your business. This is going to come up. So it's important that you understand it. And what I am talking about is resistance. Resistance is something that a lot of entrepreneurs misunderstand. They think that resistance means they're on the wrong track. They think that resistance means maybe they're not doing the right things. I hear this one a lot. Well, I'm not aligned with it. I felt like I was pushing a boulder up a hill. That's resistance. But here's the thing, that's where your breakthrough is. When resistance comes, the breakthrough is underneath that. The breakthrough is when you get through that resistance. And a lot of people just don't understand this when they're trying to do bigger things. When you are leveling up, your mind wants to keep you safe, right? It wants to keep you where you are, what's comfortable. And so this is going to show up a lot of times and feel like resistance. It's going to feel hard. It's going to feel like a grind. Look, when you're going somewhere that you've never been before, it's like learning something new, right? It's like going back to school and now you have to learn all the things. And that's not always easy. Sometimes that feels like a grind. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to this. This is hard. Well, it is because you've never been there before. And so it shows up as resistance. And if you understand resistance in your business when you're trying to do really big things, make really big, bold moves, then you can leverage it and use it to your benefit. Because where there is resistance, there is a breakthrough. And so this is really what I want to talk about is understanding that this is going to come up and it will come up more than once. It will come up every time you are moving yourself into something new. Look, the reality is you cannot get somewhere new with old thinking. You cannot get somewhere new with doing the same old thing, right? Because if you could, you would already be there. And so what wants to keep you comfortable when your brain wants to keep you comfortable and say, why do you care about that? Why do you want to go there? Oh, that's going to be hard. Oh, you're going to have to spend more time. Oh, wow, this is going to be difficult. Then a lot of times you stop yourself in your tracks. And here's what I want to tell you. You are the leader of your business. You are the one calling the shots, making the decisions, and everything is dependent on you. And you are responsible for everything that happens in your business, good and bad. It is not the problem of your employees. It is not the problem of the economy. It is not the problem of the coach or that you're working with. It is not anything except your responsibility. And so you can either move things forward in a really big way or you can stay where you are. And I always believe that nothing stays where it is, it declines. So if you're not moving forward, you're declining. Maybe you haven't seen it yet, but you're declining, right? Because other things are moving. Life is dynamic. It's never just sitting still. Everything is dynamic, right? You are not a piece of furniture that just sits there. Everything moves. And so you're either moving forward or you're going backwards. You're declining. So, when you understand that resistance is part of the process of getting bigger things, making bigger things happen, getting those bigger gains in your business, you can start embracing resistance. Like, okay, I'm feeling resistance here. This is feeling like I'm pushing a boulder up the hill. This feels like I'm pushing a train up the hill. But guess what happens when I get to the top of the hill? Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, I'm going to have to push that. Yes, it's going to feel like a grind. But guess what happens when you get to the top of the hill? Now you get to go down, right? Now it's easier and it flows and it rolls and you get momentum. That's what happens until you get to the next hill, right? Until you get to that next big thing that you're going to be doing. So when you understand this in entrepreneurship, it can change the game for you because you can start embracing resistance instead of running from it or stopping yourself right in your tracks. One of the things that I see out there a lot, because I work with a lot of coaches, I'm around a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants, and there's this idea out there that alignment means things should be easy. Alignment means that everything should just be simple and feel natural and flow. That works to a point, but it doesn't work when you're doing really, really big things. It just doesn't, because you're going to have resistance. You're going to question whether or not you're making the right decisions. You're going to look at things and go, oh my gosh, maybe I'm on the wrong track, right? All of those things are very natural feelings. I mean, I have made some big, bold, scary moves in businesses where, we've put everything on the line to expand a business. And it was scary. And yes, I questioned, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right track? And then, but here's the thing, you're in the driver's seat. And that means you can always take a different step, another step to make things work. It's rare that you cannot make things work. I always believe the only way to fail is to quit. Because as an entrepreneur, you get to make any shifts or tweaks or any changes that you need to make until things work the way you want them to work. And if you can't figure something out, then you need to figure out who can help me figure this out, right? There's always a solution, there's nothing new, and resistance is part of the process. And I just really want to talk about this because as we are in a brand new year, you have huge, huge opportunities to make this your best year ever. What is the big goal that you've set for yourself? I want to encourage you to challenge yourself, stretch yourself, and then attach a why to that big goal, why that's important, and make sure that that goal has a time frame on it. What do you want to hit maybe in first quarter? What do you want to hit it, halfway through the year? What do you want to hit at the end of the year? Set those milestones for yourself. You need to put a time frame on your goals if you're going to hit them. Otherwise, they're kind of pie in the sky. You need to make sure they're measurable. So if you're in business, make that a number. Make that, what is that revenue number that you want to hit? Or maybe it's an income number, whatever that is for you, because you can't set up a game plan if you don't really know where you're going. So you set the big goal, make sure you're challenged, but then also, why is that goal important? Because if you can't really attach why that goal is important, you're not going to be very motivated to go after it. And so you want to know what would change, what would happen if I hit this. For me, I love to set personal challenges that really stretch me and grow me, that I have to work hard to go after, because that keeps me motivated. So that is something that I have learned about myself building a lot of businesses. And so that works for me. But I still put an amount on it. I still put a time frame on it. But then I also know what would happen, what would be different if I accomplish this goal. And so I have those whys as well. And I'm not a fluffy woo-woo kind of person, but it is important that you know why you want to accomplish something. Otherwise, again, you're not going to be that motivated to hit it. But then here's the other piece about making that goal happen. What's your game plan? And I'm not talking about like a big picture strategy. I'm talking about what are the details? What are the measurable details that you need to do and be doing? What are those moves you need to be making to hit that goal, to make that goal happen? So, for example, one of the strategies that I teach people is, how to have a virtual event that makes them at least $100,000 or even more. And so, here's an easy way to do the math. Let's say you're going to be running these virtual events to hit your $1 million goal. Well, if you do one of those events a month, you're going to make over $1 million, as long as they're all making that six figure hit, right? As long as you're getting six figures in every one. But what happens if you have one that only makes $50,000? Well, now you're going to have to add an extra one in, right? And then how are you going to fill those events? And so now there's some details. How will you fill the events? What do you have to do to make sure that people are coming to those events so you can hit your numbers? And so these are the details of execution. And a lot of people don't do this when they are structuring their goals and setting their goals. They don't map out the details. And then it's just really kind of a pie in the sky idea or number. It's not real until you know how you're going to get there. So this is an important piece. But along the way, you're also going to have resistance. It's like, can I really do this? Is this really going to happen? Gosh, can I really afford to do one virtual event? And oh, that's going to be a grind to try to fill those. And all these things are going to come up because you've never done it before. Does that make sense? And so until you do it and it gets easier and easier and easier and more comfortable, you're going to feel that resistance. This is why a lot of entrepreneurs will try things one time and they're like, well, that didn't work. And then they'll go off to the next thing. Or, oh, I wasn't aligned with that. It felt too hard. Felt like I was pushing a boulder up a hill. Okay, that's not ever going to get you to big things. It's just not. You have to understand that resistance is part of the process. And when you embrace it and you go, okay, here's resistance. Guess what? I have a breakthrough coming. You're going to look at that resistance very differently and you're actually going to welcome it. You're going to embrace it. It's not going to be fun. I just want to tell you that. It's not fun going to that and doing things that are uncomfortable and bigger and bolder. And there's fear and there's anxiety sometimes and stress that goes along with that. But it is part of the process. And it's what's on the other side of that. It's what's outside of your comfort zone is where the big things happen. Big things don't happen when you're playing comfortable. Big things don't happen when you're staying small. For 14 years, I've been working with business owners and entrepreneurs and coaches, consultants, professionals. And one of the things I've heard from people is, well, I know what it's like to run a 7-figure business, so I have no desire to do that. Well, that just tells me you didn't have a business that was set up right. You just didn't. Okay. Maybe it wasn't making money. Maybe you weren't profitable enough. There's always reasons why you felt that resistance. Maybe the way your business was structured really wasn't set up for your life. So it wasn't really the dream kind of business that you want. And so a lot of times they'll say, I'm just going to stay small instead of saying, okay, what could I have done differently to have that 7-figure business and love it at the same time and enjoy my life? See, look for the solutions in things because that's for all those years when I was building a lot of businesses, I always looked for the solution. I looked at the problem, I analyzed the problem, but then I'm like, what do I need to be doing different? What is the solution that will get me the big breakthroughs? And this is how I was able to build a lot of businesses and sell them and build the financial future that we have. And you can do it too, but you have to embrace these things that come up and you have to understand them because you're going somewhere that you've never been before. So this is all new. But if you look back to what has happened up to this point, you'll probably see that you had a lot of resistance that you worked through. It's just, it wasn't maybe as big. Okay. Because when you're doing things on a smaller scale, the resistance is just not quite as risky. It's just not quite as big. But when you're going really big and you're doing things at a much higher level and a bigger, you're really leveling up, you're leveling yourself up too. That resistance can be bigger and scarier. But guess what? The breakthroughs are bigger and the rewards and the results are bigger. So there's that, right? The bigger the resistance, the bigger the breakthrough, the bigger the reward, the bigger the result that you're going to get. So embrace them, embrace this when it comes your way and work yourself through it and just realize that this is where big things are going to happen for you. So what is your big goal for 2024? Do you have your plan mapped out? Is it an important goal to you? Why is it important? And then just know that you are going to experience some resistance, but don't give up. Do not give up. Push through it. And hey, if you need some help and you need some guidance and support, this is the value of working with someone that can coach you through this resistance to help you break through faster. And a lot of times they can see the breakthrough for you. Like I can see the breakthrough for my clients. So then when I share the breakthrough with them and why this is all normal and this is what is going to happen when you get through this, all of a sudden they're excited about the resistance. And so that is the value of working with someone. I would love to work with you if you're ready to really set your business on fire in a good way. Take it to brand new levels in 2024. You can book a call with me at acarden.com. I help people who want to build that 7-figure and beyond business, but I help them do it with really high-end premium clients so that they have high profits, they have less to manage, and they have more simplicity and freedom. So if that interests you, you can book a call at acarden.com. Make sure that you let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know your takeaways. I always love to engage and know who's watching and know what you get from this. And if there's something you want me to talk about, drop that in the comments as well. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.